book lovers, Victoria here and you're watching My Books Areme. Today I'm bringing you a review of Caraval by Stephanie Garber, which comes out tomorrow. I don't know when this video is going up, but it comes out on the 31st of January, and I was kindly sent this for review from Hatchet Australia, and it was a fantastic book. So let me share with you what it's about. So in this book we are following sisters Scarlett and Tella, who live on the Isle of Trisda with their father, who is very abusive, and he's arranged a marriage for Scarlett with a lord on the mainland. And Scarlett, while she's never met this guy and receives letters from him, the main reason she's excited for this marriage is because she'll finally be able to leave her abusive father and bring Tella with her and be able to finally get away from him, because whenever they do something wrong, one or the other will get punished. So if Scarlett does something wrong, Tella will get punished because that punishes Scarlett. And they've tried a couple of times to leave the island, but they are always found, and someone is always punished, to the point where her father actually killed a boy who was helping them try to escape. In this world there is this event called Caraval, which was originally a traveling performance thingy that traveled around the world and put on this show or game where people could go and they could either be a watcher or a player, and if you're a player you get to go around, follow these clues and find something that will win you the grand prize. Scarlett has been writing to Caraval's master, Legend, for years now, hoping that he will be able to come to Trisda so she can go see Caraval. But as the years go by and as her arranged marriage comes closer, she realizes that it probably is never going to happen, because once she's married she will not be able to go see Caraval. However, this year she is sent a letter from Legend inviting her to come to the Caraval performance, which will take place on Master's private island, and it is by invitation only. And Scarlett, even though she has the tickets and her sister Tella is all excited to go, she knows she can't go because she firstly won't be able to get off the island without her father knowing, and secondly because her wedding is coming up within the next week and she doesn't think she'll be back in time. With the help of mysterious sailor Julian, Tella gets her sister to the island as well as herself, and they both enter the game, although Tella enters Caraval before Scarlett does, so Scarlett is determined to find Tella before the game starts. However, just when Scarlett finds Tella, she realizes that Tella is part of the game. Tella has been taken by Legend, and she is the person that everyone who is playing Caraval has to find by the time Caraval is over after 5 nights. And although Scarlett has been told that anything that happens in Caraval is just a performance, it's just all an illusion, you can't get caught up in the game, she is worried that if the game ends and she hasn't found Tella, that she's not going to be able to find her, and that she's not going to be able to get home before her father realizes where they are. So the further along she gets into the game, she gets swept up in the illusion and performance. She has the help of an unlikely ally in trying to find Tella, and she slowly starts to uncover the secrets of Caraval. So this book has received so much hype for like the past 6 months. I'm pretty sure I've seen reviews by people who received this book for review from like July last year. There has been so much hype around this book, and everyone has been talking about it, that I was both excited and like uneasy about going into this, because I was thinking, what if it's all just hype? What if I don't like it? What if it's not as good as everyone makes it out to be? But I was so wrong. This book is so deserving of all the hype that it's gotten. It is not funny. With Caraval, I was hooked from the very beginning, particularly because we start off this story with the series of letters that Scarlett has written to Legend, and then Legend's letter to Scarlett. And with this book, it is so easy to get swept away with the game as well. Like, as I said, throughout the entire book, Scarlett is told that it's only a game, not to get too invested in the performance and the illusion, because that's how people go insane, sort of thing. And I feel like that's the same with the book itself, because the further along you get into it, you get so invested into the world and the characters and the game itself that you sort of get swept away and forget what's happening as well. Well, that felt like it was for me. I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but that's how I felt it was. The way that Stephanie Garber has written the book, it's like you are pulled into the game as well, and you become so invested in it that I feel like, I don't know, maybe it was because I wasn't reading carefully enough, but you sort of start to become disillusioned by the performance, and you start to forget that it is all just a game, and that, you know, not everything is as it seems. Caraval is such a beautiful and magical and mystical world. I could literally read anything to do with the event that is Caraval. I don't know if like the look of Caraval is meant to be the same each year, but the Caraval in the story where it is at Legends like private island and everything, it is massive. It is so mystical and magical, and everything is not as it seems in the world. Sort of everything has some sort of mystery and magic to it. There's actually a map at the start of this book, and I didn't really look at it while I was reading the book. I gave it a brief look at the start, but like this is what the world looks like. And to be honest, I wasn't imagining it like this exactly, but just like it still looks so good, and I'm actually surprised that there is a map in an arc. But anyway, I literally feel like magic seeps from these pages, just the way it's written, and that everything sort of has a different look to it throughout the event. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. Everything just has a magic to it. It is such a magical book and such a mysterious book, and like as I said, magic, I feel like magic seeps from the pages. It's just so easy to fall into the magic, to feel the magic, to see the magic. There is a part in the book where Scarlet doesn't believe, like in the book Scarlet is told by her grandmother stories about Caraval and everything like that, and over the years she slowly starts to not believe in the magic of Caraval, because as she gets older and she doesn't really, she loses her grandmother, so she doesn't like get to hear those stories, and she starts thinking that magic doesn't actually exist. And I feel like in this book is Scarlet sort of is discovering the magic, and that everything that she's heard about Caraval is true in regards to the magic. I feel like you're getting that magic as well. You are slowly starting to see the magic, and the magic is like starting to appear. I don't really know. Should I say magic one more time? There are so many twists and turns in this book, and I think it is to do with the fact that it is so easy to become, as I said before, a part of the game, and you start to see things sort of how Scarlet sees them, and you start to forget like that everything in here isn't as it seems. Like it's literally like, I feel like it should be obvious that these things are coming, but you get so into Scarlet's mindset reading from her perspective that even when she's told everything's a game, you don't want to believe some things that could be happening, because you just want it to be how Scarlet sees it. I don't really know how to explain it, but there are so many twists and turns. Some of them I didn't see coming. Some of them I was so like shocked and heartbroken to read about, like not even funny. I did cry a little bit because I couldn't believe something had happened or didn't happen. It was just all over the place, especially like the last third of the book. Everything sort of especially the last third of the book, everything just sort of comes together, and you get like, you know, everything just sort of happens, and you get explanations for everything, and you just can't believe that all this is happening and how it was all done and put together. It was a wild ride, let me tell you that. And because of all these twists and turns, your sort of perception of Caraval and the events that are unfolding changes so much, like from going into the book to finishing it, because you get all these explanations and all these things happen. You really, like, the way you see Caraval completely flips as you go through the book, and I really enjoyed that. I liked the fact that you start off with one idea of what this story is going to be like, and by the end it is something you weren't even expecting. I really enjoyed the ending of this book, and to be honest, if it didn't have an epilogue at the end, I would have been quite happy with this being a standalone, because I feel like everything was really explained. I liked how that it ended. It was in the end, it was how I wanted it to end, which I'm happy about. But there is an epilogue at the end of this, which focuses on Teller, and it obviously sets up for the second book. This is going to be a duology, and I'm really intrigued to see where the second book goes, and I'm really hoping that we still get just the way that the book does come to an end, and with just the way this book does come to an end and the bit that is focused on in the epilogue, I'm really intrigued to see where this story goes. But as I said, I felt like it was very well wrapped up in the end, and just that the one thing it focused on was like, and the one thing that was focused on in the epilogue, I was not expecting to see that. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. My only hope for the second book is that it still has all this magic and this mystery that is Caraval, because the game of Caraval is now over. So I'm hoping that we still get that energy and that magic and that mystery. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm gonna think of that. I absolutely loved this book. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think the only reason why I took off half a star is because of that ending. I'm not quite sure. It's definitely a fantastic book. It is definitely well worth a read. It is definitely worthy of all the hype that it's been receiving. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see I can't wait to see what happens in the second book. I also can't wait to see what else Stephanie Garber brings out. This is her debut novel, and it is a fantastic debut novel. It is such a beautifully written book. I could literally spend all day just reading about the world of Caraval and what it looks like and everything like that. I don't even care if there's nothing happening in the story. As long as we get those really beautiful descriptions of the world, I would read it. I could read about paint drying in Caraval because I'm pretty sure there'd be something different about that. This book is fast-paced and will have you hooked from page one. It is so easy to escape into a world cloaked in magic and mystery and get caught up in the game and the adventure that is Caraval. But remember, it is only a game. That is it for my review of Caraval. Definitely go check it out. I will leave a link to the Goodreads page in the description below. I will leave a link to my written review of this book, which is essentially what I've said here, as well as a link to the Goodreads, Book Depository and Booktopia pages, so you can go get this book. I highly recommend it. It is a fantastic book. This book is going to, like, everyone's going to love this book. Trust me, it is amazing. It is worth all the hype. If you have been worrying because it has got so much hype that it's not going to be any good, I seriously recommend picking it up. And it's such a beautiful, really beautifully written book. The cover is beautiful. My ARC edition is beautiful. Definitely recommend it. Go pick it up. It is worthy of the hype. You're not going to regret it. And this is targeted for fans of the Night Circus and this has been targeted for fans of the Night Circus and A Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I have not read those two books, but if they are similar to this, I'm definitely excited to read them. But definitely give this book a go. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. That is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've already read Caraval, let me know your thoughts on it. If you haven't read Caraval, go get the book and just let me know your thoughts on what you've heard about it so far. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!